In last week's episode, Riaan and Patrick arrived with a 1941 Chevy, the Orange Whale 8, at Street Rod Factory to transform her into a street rod with lots of street cred.
Was a piece of scrap, my engine was dead, crushed in pieces, what they said. Now the blue came, Riaan and Pat. Let's haul her home, let's bring her back. It's Chevy. Ooh, you love a heavy. Driving a Ford, it'll strike that chord. Street rods, Africa, here I come.
So many parts to strip before I can walk the strip. But luckily, many hands make light work, but can also cause chaos. Especially when you're stripping a car that consists of thousands of parts.
So we make little plastic bags to say left front door, so everything that we take off this door goes in this bag. So when we start reassembling everything, then we know where all the screws are.
Bright ideas seem to be all around.
With this, we're going to change the locks to put in remote doors, door locks, instead of the traditional 41 locks.
This is the Fisher badge, body by Fisher. That means this Chevrolet was built by Fisher coaches, and we never throw this away. This is going to be back somewhere in this car. It's the real McCoy.
Here's the striptease of today's full-bodied episode. The boys get down and dirty and Riaan hits Vegas. We meet a different side of Neil and Stu gets to drive the Triumph TR3A. Stripping the car reminds me of my army days. Not only because of the hard work and drill Sergeant Etienne barking orders, but knowing that we've got to put everything back together. No wonder these two got the deer in headlights look. But there's always a right and a wrong way to do things.
Huh, that was quick, huh?
If a straight cut window falls and breaks, it can be replaced. No mess, no fuss. But the next window to be removed is curved and quite a different story.
So on this one, I want to be very, very cautious. Because nothing can happen with this one, what happened to me with the inside, because if it falls, it's going to break. And then we've got to import one of these windows.
This is a two-step, two-person job. Step 1, cut the rubber from the outside, and step 2, push the glass inward slowly so your colleague can safely retrieve it.
All in one piece.
All in one piece, okay?
Stripping the car sure is a thrill. No wonder Riaan's got a smile as wide as the grill.
Now every week we're going to ask you some interesting questions. And this week's question is, do you guys think that one can build a car with glue? But let's ask the expert. What do you think?
I did glue a Mini together, the world's shortest Mini.
With what glue? With Pratley?
Epoxy Pratley glue.
And how long did the car last?
Until I smacked the pavement at 120 km an hour. And it did not break.
Really?
Did not break.
But are we going to use any glue in this car?
No glue.
No glue.
That's when I was young and stupid.
So when we're older and grey like us, it's bolts and nuts.
More experience.
The evidence is scattered around. This body is bare and her intestines bagged.
We've removed every removable part. There's nothing, not even a screw, no engine, no suspension, nothing. But you know what? We need a donor. Like a heart donor, we need a car donor. Because we need a new suspension, we need brakes, we need a steering column, everything. And I heard that the best car donor there is a Jaguar XJ6. Where are we going to get one?
After looking high and low, near and far, in big and small, wide and narrow places and spaces for anything that is fine and shine or dusted and rusted, we finally found the perfect donor car.
Etienne, what are we doing here? We are working on a Chevy, and now here Riaan says we are looking for a Jaguar.
Of course, you need to make it run comfortably. That's why you need independent front and back suspension.
You know, I've come to believe this expression, a Buremaka plan and a ducky ready plan. So, here we go.
I'm so excited what we are doing here. I mean, now we've got all the parts. We've got the Jaguar for the suspension, the steering rod, maybe the gauges. All we need is still a 350 gearbox, and then we're good to go. In 1986, the Jaguar XJ6 arrived in the world, and it was a pretty beautiful car. The lines were perfect, and everybody enjoyed this masterpiece.
This car was originally called the Standard Swallow, abbreviated SS. Now, they had to give away this SS thing because, Hitler was not such a good role model for the founders and the makers of this car to associate with. And then they came with a beautiful name, the Jaguar. And with it came a feature that is very, very outstanding. The Jaguar itself, it stands on the front of the bonnet, and it's a leaping Jaguar which represents speed, agility, and command a lot of respect on the road. Now, we're going to take some parts from this car. So our orange whale is going to have features. We don't know what breed we're going to make, but it's going to be some roaring rod. Sharp, sharp.
It's quite interesting how the Triumph TR2 and TR3 came about. After World War II, there was a major export drive going on from Britain to all parts of the world, but particularly to America, which was seen as cash-rich at that time, and particularly in the sports car market. Now, that came about because you had these World War II American soldiers who were posted after the war in Britain, being exposed to the wonderful world of British sports cars. And what happened was, between the players, it became a sort of a global chess match where everyone was vying for their slice of the market. And the major players at that time were actually MG and Jaguar. MG with their TC and later TD, which was quite an economy entry-level market sports car, and then the more affluent XK120. Standard Triumph at the time saw this gap. They thought fill the niche between the two cars, and hence this beautiful cutaway door TR2, which came out in 1953. Another interesting point is that possibly the most distinctive feature of the TR2 and TR3 is the cutaway line of the door, which is in fact pre-World War II. But my favorite part of all are these all-enclosed headlights, another very modern feature. To me, this is the styling tour de force of the TR3. TR3 and the TR2 have all got these little sort of frog eye type headlights. It also has these stone guards on the headlamps and these driving lights, as well as the club mascots in the grille. The engine they used was a basic lump from the standard Vanguard sedan, which was actually about 2.2 litres. They reduced it to just under 2 litres, and they got a bit of a more revvable motor, use of a bit of a hotter cam, more compression ratio, and the ubiquitous 20 SU side draft carburetors. That translated to about 100 horsepower eventually, or 75 kilowatts. And yeah, that's pretty much in a sports car performance league. So come, let's go for some sports. I love the simplicity of this car. The fact that the dashboard is just a piece of wood covered in vinyl, and the Jaeger instruments, 120 mile per hour speedometer, 6,000 rev tachometer, and then you've got your oil pressure, your temp, fuel gauge, and your amp, your classic sports car layout. These cars weren't at all slow either for the era. I mean, in pre-production, they managed to achieve over 124 miles an hour, which is just a whisker short of 200 k's an hour, on the Jabek freeway in Belgium. pretty much like a four-wheel motorcycle. You get the same sort of feeling in nature rather than looking at nature through a TV screen. And that's, I think, what the real charm about this car is. You're right, you're part of the elements. Sure, you're not going to have such a comfortable, great trip down to Cape Town on this car, but I'd nevertheless, even so, if I bought this car, I'd hop in it and go straight to Cape Town.
Did you know the automobile is the most recycled consumer product in the world today?
Street Rides Africa. Street Rides Africa.
With the help from Nikki from Auto Assist, the journey back to the workshop was full of bliss and no bumps. But that wasn't the case once we've offloaded her. She was a prime drive back in the day and would have begged to be in the tires of the Chevy rather than on her own donor suspension. She simply just didn't want to let go and gave us a run for our muscles.
1, 2, 3. Yaba! 1, 2, 3. I say. Very good, very good.
Now you guys would wonder, why are we going through all this trouble to take this jack suspension out for the Chevy? You know, the nice thing about this is an independent front and rear suspension. And the other thing is also got disc brakes and it's got power steering. With the old cars like the Chevys, they had a solid suspension at the back, the axle was solid and the road handling wasn't that good. By using this suspension of the Jaguar, we're going to have better road handling and we can also lower the car. So it's a much better drive at the end of the day. Everything is loose. We're now ready to take it out.
Just check that it doesn't catch on these things.
Going.
Slowly, slowly, slowly. Push it back a bit, Nico. Nog. Go. Slack.
Very nice. Etienne, this is now the front suspension of the Jag that we're going to fit into the Chevy in front. So you're going to replace all these bushes and rubbers and stuff, and we clean everything up.
Everything's going to be stripped.
Okay.
All the bushes going to be replaced. Everything's going to be repainted overall, and then we fit it.
Okay, so now it's the back one.
Let's go.
All right, let's move this one away and go and fetch the back one.
He's not just a business-minded entrepreneur, but a spicy and passionate petrolhead to be reckoned with.
Allow me to say to you that Neil is a car enthusiast as well. And I have absolute confidence that he will transform this from what it is to what I look at here.
Okay.
What was your inspiration? I mean, who was your role model in the roading world? What got you into it?
I joined a few guys many years ago, and we used to go to these shows. And I got caught by that bug at one of the shows. And ever since then, I was kind of busy with other business ventures and things like that. But as my sons grew older, it became a bonding experiment for us.
Okay.
So we decided that as a family, we want to build rods. And that's where we got into these little babies here.
Wonderful. I would love to sit with your whole family one day to just get an experience of what kind of discussions take place over dinner. You know?
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Can you show me what you're going to change in the interior?
Yes, let me take you over there.
Okay. Let's...
I got to redo the carpets and I got to redo the dash. I'm going to make the dash a bit bling.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for Riaan to bring me a steering wheel.
A steering wheel.
Yes.
I can get you one in Soweto, man.
No, not what he's bringing.
Okay, righty. You see now, Neil is a serious thoroughbred car enthusiast. But for now, Umat, I realize there's a lot of work for you guys to do. I'm going to get into my 38 Chevy and go around and try and find you some other parts. Okay?
Great.
Lovely.
Thanks,
Check
my
you
man.
later.
Right.
Today I'm talking to you guys about projects. Now, when you have a project car or a project you want to build, you usually set up a budget for the car and a timeline. Now, those are never actually met. Your timeline's usually going to get extended and your budget's going to double, sometimes even triple. Now, as the editor of the magazine, I see this actually every day. Guys come out where they either run out of time, they run out of money, or they run out of both. That's why a very good thing is to get a running car. Start making changes and add your changes and add onto your car as you go along. It's just an easier way to work. Now, from a budget perspective, even the guys on the show are hitting the same challenges that everybody else out there are hitting. Now, unfortunately, that is just the reality of rodding. Now, this 1939 Oldsmobile looks actually like it's done, but it's never done. Your car always has something you want to do to it. You want to change the wheels, you want to drop the suspension, you want to make some kind of modification on it. Now, to get into Oldsmobile itself, this is a very interesting company. Now, Mr. Olds actually put the first gasoline motor into an Volkswagen. This was in 1895. Now, in 1897, they actually established the Oldsmobile company with $50,000. Now, I mean, these days, you would actually spend more than $50,000 just buying them or building a high-dollar rod. Now, I love this car. I love the color, everything on it, especially the chrome in the front. This car's got such a unique style. Now, funny enough, Oldsmobile was the first car in 1926 that actually put chrome around the radiators. Once again, this car is phenomenal. I love what he's done with this. There's so much to see on this car. So let's have a look. Very nicely rounded into the body, goes well with the fenders as well as with the bumper that's been color-coded with the car as well. Now, the 1939 Oldsmobile was used in the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro called This Boy's Life. Now, iconic completely, but of course we're talking about the car, not the actors. Big chrome, steelies, white walls, whatever floats your boat, guys. Anything goes on rods. It's all about you, as long as you keep rodding.
Street Rods Africa. Street Rods Africa.
At the biggest automotive trade show in the world in Las Vegas, and we're going to show you hot rods. I mean, perfect rebuild hot rods and car parts. But before we show you that, let's go and meet Della. Della, please tell us about the heart of the SEMA show.
The SEMA show is about passion. The people here are enthusiasts and they love this industry, and as a result they come up with the most innovative and most creative products.
Della, what is the highlights that we can look forward to?
There is so much happening at the SEMA show. A lot depends on what you're interested in. We've got an entire hall dedicated to trucks and SUVs. We've got another hall dedicated just on wheels. We've got a section here just for hot rods. So every kind of hot rod product you can imagine is here. We've got buyers at the SEMA show from just about every country you can imagine. We have, of the buyers we have, they could represent more than 100 countries.
Came in to visit from Texas, all the way from Texas, and up here looking at the tires and wheels today. There are just thousands of them, and probably never be able to see all of them today.
Hi, my name is Gary Kank. I'm here with SureFit Truck Racks. We do a modular ladder rack system for pickup trucks, and we're excited to be at the SEMA show.
The SEMA show, or alternatively known as the Specialty Equipment Market Association, attracts more than 100,000 industry leaders from more than 100 countries for unlimited profit and relationship building opportunities in the automotive, truck and custom vehicle markets.
They chosen me as a judge because I'm right here in SEMA since 10 years and just trying to develop the relationship between the US market and the European market.
Lucky for the South African automotive car enthusiast market, Riaan was elected to be a judge at SEMA. He had to choose his 10 favorite new products to introduce to our South African market. So visit our website to find out what Riaan and his sidekick wife Michelle chose.
Hey, this is Fred Furr. I'm looking at the new products, and I'm seeing some fantastic new products of adjustable shock absorbers. It's great.
Hi, my name's Trent, and my favourite product is the iPhone application.
Now this is the Ultra Track Pack, and it's made for the Chevy small block and the big block, and it consists of the air conditioner pump, the alternator, everything in the front, and the air cleaner. It's just something beautiful that you can add to your engine.
My name is Diego from Argentina, and my favorite product is the Spotlight Adventure Kit.
My Chevy also needs new dials, and I know Etienne wanted to change everything in the inside. I wonder how we would like this all-American tradition one. Now, one of the most recognizable brands in the world is definitely the bow tie. And Etienne said we need a rear mirror, and I think that's what we should get. When I chose the new products on the SEMA show, one of my products was the airbeds. It's a mattress that you can put in the back of your truck, and you can see how strong it is. You can park a car on top of the mattress. It's also got its own pump in, which is rechargeable, so you just charge it up, you pump it up, and you can inflate it and deflate it as many times as you want. Now you get these mattresses in different sizes. Now for the single cabs, there's the 1.8 meters or a 6 foot, and for the double cabs, there's the 1.5 or the 1.2 meters. And this is the mattress. You can see it's a nice cutout, and that fits into the back of your truck. But what happens if you want to use it at home? Very easy to do. You've got these inserts with Velcros on the side, right there. And all you do, you add that in there, and now you've got a solid mattress which you can use in your house or on your lawn.
All you people in South Africa, regardless of whether it's muscle cars, street rods, dragsters, lowriders, 4x4s, stay with your passion, keep it going, and keep the movement going. Performance is the way to go, and cars are our passion, and they're your passion too.
For all you Chevy enthusiasts, you keep on doing what you're doing and keep the dream alive. This is Chevy Power.
Rodding gives you the opportunity to express individuality with cars. Anybody can go to a dealership and buy a car from an original equipment manufacturer, and it's just the same, it's just a production car. If you want to have something that's custom and express some individuality, that's what hot rodding is all about.
30,000 square feet of just eye candy, you can't even get your head around it. And I just want to give a personal message to all the customizers out in South Africa to keep doing what you're doing.
Hey South Africa. We're here at SEMA convention this year. All you horsepower hot rodders, you don't have to run the V8 gas hoggers. You can run the electric green car. This is the way to go, so get green. Well, this hot rod has a net gain 11-inch motor in it. Has about 1,200 pounds of torque to it. Get about 65 miles on the range on it too. So it's a little cruiser. If you get on it, you're gonna get 20 miles, max on there. But you don't want to do that. You'll burn the tires out quick.
And how fast does it go?
162 miles per hour is the top speed.
Don, what have you done to this car?
Well, this car is basically an internal combustion engine, and what we've done is we've taken the internal combustion engine, all of the drivetrains that are associated with it, and converted it to a total electric vehicle.
Wow, all of this green talk makes me want to grip the steering wheel and responsibly go vroom, vroom.
At Hot Rod Alley, you see all the hot rods. You see the rat rods, the street rods, and the customized rods. But let me show you the rod that made rodding popular. And this is the cookie.
This car is historically significant in the fact that it was in a television series in 1957 through 1959. The show was called 77 Sunset Strip, and it was about two detectives and a young man who was a parking valet, and the character's name was Ed Kooky Burns. So the car was referred to as Kooky's car. They even wrote a rock and roll song about it called Kooky Kooky Lend Me Your Comb. So it became significant in that we've had guys tell us my age and younger guys that this is the car that got them started in hot rodding because they watched on television once a week.
The original Kooky owned